All right, welcome everyone to the discussion portion of the episode. If you want to see the reaction commentary, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it'll be in the description below. All right, let's just get into talking about the episode. In terms of the episode itself, while I enjoyed it, like I said before, it did have a different feeling than the last one, which is weird because it wasn't that different, but it felt different. But just guess in terms of what happened, I think less happened. So we start off with it's kind of like a flash forward, I guess you could say, with Araragi talking to Oshino. Maybe it's not. I actually don't know. This part of it is set kind of weird, but they're talking about how it's like a lost cow and how like it was like cow can be written with snail or something. I don't know. Kanji is weird. I don't understand it. Can we get into the intro? High energy as ever, still giving the sort of lost, trying to find your way back vibe. Makes sense. Seems like that is what's happening. And they're on their way following Sejugahara. She might know where the address is. And we run into the area of where her house used to be, her old house. Kind of brings up some memories she probably doesn't want to talk about, but she still mentions it. Asks her if everything's fine. She says she's fine, but when you bring up bad memories of the past, it's kind of hard to talk about. But life goes on. You have to try to move on. We continue on. She's getting close to Araragi. Apparently the PTA is like the Russian mafia or something. Got some good English. She's still teasing him. She's still being stubborn about being lost. He tries to trick her by wording his sentences differently. And it didn't work, so he just did the easy thing and just offered her money, and she just instantly was willing to talk. There was a whole touring thing. That was kind of funny. Gotta love them puns, man. See where we are. We're still walking. I just noticed that Sejugahara is leading, but since she's leading, it makes sense that she's in front. But the distance between them is very, very odd. Like it's very, very large. Like even when you're following someone, like you're either right next to them or directly behind them. I mean, they're at least like a couple car lengths behind her. It's kind of odd. Also, something I've noticed is that not at one point did Sejugahara interact directly with Hachikuji. I know she mentioned she hates kids, and maybe that's it, but I don't really recall her ever saying anything to her. She's talked maybe about kids in general, but never directly at her. She seems to have lost her way a bit. I did mention that the snail leads people astray, though, so that might be why. They're going into the whole thing of why she's lost, out of range. Yeah, they're kind of caught in the. I forget what it's called, but just basically they're caught in it because of the whole lost snail thing, and it's messing up with where they can go and whatnot. So she's on her way to see Oshino. She doesn't want to be left alone with a kid. He offers her ice cream and she instantly changes her mood. She's got to stay away from the white vans. I'm just going to say that outright. Because she's going to be captured very easily. Okay, she talks about this. Tsunade lady is her mom, actually. Which is right for Araragi a question because she worded it very odd. Like she said she's going to her relative's house. Usually when you talk about your mom, you don't talk about them like, like this relative of mine. When you say that, you usually mean like an aunt or an uncle, maybe even a grandma, but even that's a stretch, you know? He goes for a head pat and she instantly just bites his fingers. And she bites hard. You can see her putting pressure. He punches her. Has to punch her again to get her off. It's comedic. Like, realistically speaking, like if someone saw this, they'd be like, "What the hell?" Like they either think you're crazy or that this dude's just a chronic abuser. But I know it's being played off as comedy, but it's still kind of weird just to think about someone passing by and seeing that. And then Hanakawa shows up, and she notices the whole thing, so she was there for a while. It seems like. And she feeds her the same line she fed Araragi when she met her and met him. Sorry. Like don't talk to me, I hate you. Hanakawa just brushes it off and gives her head pats, and she seems to be taken aback and by them. He scolds her for biting his hand. She gives a line here. This right here. Tell them why that's an odd thing to say. I don't like what they're doing. They're doing the whole glasses lens flare thing when usually they do that when something's up. And the way she says it, normally when someone is talking about disciplining a child, and it's on the sort of violent side, violent, I'll put it in quotes, side of things, they're normally just outright against hitting children in general, right? But the way she puts it, it's like, I don't know, that gives off a weird vibe. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I'm piecing things together, because in the last episode, Aragi mentioned that, Mother's Day is a day where people celebrate. This is the whole reason why he's actually in the park alone. But Hanakawa's out and about. At least Senjugahara, I understand, because her relationship with her mother isn't exactly the best. That's putting it lightly, but with Hanakawa, we don't really know much about that. But she's out here. She says she doesn't like to be at home. So she's wandering about, and then she gives a line like this. Let's just say it's making my mind run. I'm not going to say anything quite yet, though. I'm kind of just pulling at straws, it seems like. But let's continue. Yeah, he mentioned Senjugahara. She kind of takes it like, so that's what it is. And she's getting the misunderstanding thing. And there's these weird angles. I'll leave that for another time. So it looks like he's talking. This is why I thought the cold open was a flash forward. Is because of, well, for one, he's talking to Araragi on Senjugahara's phone, which is odd in itself, but whatever. Talks about the oddities. Good old meme talk. Got to love it. Yeah. Senjugahara still with the stapler. Just making sure Hoshino doesn't do anything funny. So he can't stand talking on the phone, so decides to and he mentions like the history of Hachikuji's name. Says he's gonna send Senjugahara over with the info. There's something I actually want to look at. I'll just mute this real quick. No, I think it was a little before this. Let me just go back a little bit. Understand the history. From the outset, he kind of, I don't really understand why it would be better for him to have known from the beginning, but okay. Is it running? This episode's kind of, yeah, that part didn't. Yeah, this part right here, when he mentions Sundere-chan, this pops up. Ah. The show itself is just blatantly hinting at it at this point, and I gave my theory last time, that she likes it, but I swear to God, these two end up together. I don't know how I'm gonna feel actually. That'd be interesting though. But he mentions to her, and she's hungry. And that's kind of where the episode ends. So I'm guessing the resolution is in the next episode. But yeah, that was interesting. We were kind of trying to deal with the issue on our own. We couldn't, so we decided to talk to Oshino, and he seems to have a way to solve the problem. But we will be dealing that in the next episode. All right, well, that's going to be it for me for now. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you enjoy. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to read it. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you all next time. Peace.